Alright, everybody, we got a Zeiten game today on the map North in this World of Warships Legends match. It's kind of a follow-up on some German battleships I played. There's my build. I've got, oh man, what's her name? Nanomi? The, I think that's right. Hoshino is the American one, Nanomi is the German one. The BA, whatever. Man, I know I'm not the only one, but I cannot keep all this stuff straight. Um, I don't know the whatever they're from or whatever, but um, my point, I have Nanomi. I've switched back to Celiax, the free to play kind of brawling archetype commander for the German. Honestly, in pretty much any German battleship that I'm using with a secondary build, and I mostly use Nanomi just on, I think, Schroeder these days. I find that I really like that little bit of extra fire chance on the secondaries. I think, man, I just looked at it. Was it 2%, 2.5%? I find I really notice it. And I like it. I also like fight fire with fire, particularly on these German battle cruisers that have the limited damage cons. But anyway, that's my build. You could run it. Like, they're flexible. There's AL Bismarck, I think, is also good choice. Like there's plenty of good choices, but you know, Porcupine, Hipper, Haruna, secondary build's pretty straightforward and standard on these guys at this point. Here we are on North. You know what? I meant to point something out. I went behind that island. I don't love this spawn on North because it's like that. The island is big and kind of far back, but if you go in front of it, like that Bagration, which you see sinking right there, like you are at the mercy of what the other team does. You have no options if you're in front of that island. I don't love that because it's like by the time you're really know what's happening, it's really too late, and so you kind of have to take yourself out of the fight for longer than I would prefer to have a good option. You can kind of go over behind the big island that's on the southeast of C, or you can kind of kite around that little island that's just south of me. Here, this is a lesson in why you don't do this in a destroyer. This guy is coming up to shoot me. Here come his torpedoes. He didn't do an amazing job. He's got them on widespread, but like at most I eat 2 torpedoes here, and I'm not even particularly good at dodging torpedoes, and it's just like womp, womp, womp. There they go, no problem. And he threw his whole ship away for that. Not worth it. It works sometimes, and people get away with it, and I think they keep doing it. Maybe he thought I was distracted by everyone else. Oh yeah, that's the other part. So first thing is the Bagration went in and just had no way to turn out. There's just nowhere for him to go at all unless like someone gives him a smoke or something like that. Second thing is that was it an Asashio that just comes in to try to torpedo me? Like, no, that's a bad call. Third is like my flank mates didn't leave me. There's 7 red ships at C. Everybody from B came to C. The carriers was over here. He's not. Looks like he's gone over there to A, and our whole team that was in B went to A as well, or like around the other side, like went into B and kept B. And it's just like, yet again, man. Seems like every single one is just, always alone. So that's the Tirpitz match, the Bismarck match, and now this Zeiten match. I haven't played a ton of matches recently, like especially not in these German battleships. This is not my favorite kind of ship. Like I just haven't always gotten along with the German ships particularly well. So I don't play them a ton. I've been playing them a little bit more recently, just try to, I don't know, every now and then I get back in, like, all right, let's see if I'm better, if I've figured something out, if I can try a different play style, or just really focus on, trying to make them work. They are cool. They're historical, or a lot of them are historical. A lot of people do like them, and so I keep trying to kind of come back to them and like, all right, maybe I've figured out something that I was missing. Whatever. But anyway, it just makes me laugh. Like, yet again, I'm on the overload flank. At least my teammates didn't leave me, although the Bagration got sunk. Lightning gave me a smoke, but now he like overstayed his welcome. He needed to leave. He needed to be going like a long time ago, and he's just kind of sitting there. I don't know if he ran aground or what, but yeah, he's outstayed his welcome. Here I'm just like bouncing around on the auto aim on the thing. I know some of the expert players make fun of people who rely too much on the auto aim, and I've certainly been getting away from just doing that. But it's also, the way I adjust my aim is like I look at the auto aim and then adjust it. I think that's reasonable. And in that case, it was kind of bouncing all around, so I couldn't really get a good shot on it. I've also generally not found the German battle cruisers to be like this is a little bit lucky there. That could have been a lot worse. As accurate as some people seem to. I don't. Everybody's going to show their best shots and whatever, but I don't. They absolutely have a better dispersion formula than the battleships. Like, you can't deny that. That's in the programming. Just, that shot on the, what was it, a Lexington notwithstanding, I just generally haven't found them noticeably more accurate than the German battleships. So, it is what it is. And I even played them a lot of the time with Hyde, with like almost a hybrid build. That's what I did most of the line with. Just at the time, the carrier, that was before the carrier spotting change, and so like you were just basically always on fire. So having 5 heals was nice to just kind of work through that. Like, oh, I've got 1 fire, let me just heal up from that. So anyway, back to this match. I was kind of backing up around the island. I saw everybody coming. I'm like, all right, well, the Rodney's relatively slow. That's kind of one of its weaknesses. So I could probably get around here and head the other way. I don't want to get torpedoed by him. He has those like 30,000 damage torpedoes that I think are 7-kilometer range, and fast enough. And then here's the Constellation coming too. So anyway, I'm trying to limit my engagement. I would like to fight, as I've said this before, on a lot of different types of ships, probably more on the destroyers that I have on the battleships. If you can limit your engagement at all, it's all generally going to be beneficial. Kind of makes sense. You're only taking damage from 2 ships instead of 1. You can only put out so much damage, so limit your engagement. Here I do wish I still had vision on the Rodney, but I'm, again, like really trying to limit what he can do to me. He did back up a little more than I thought he would, but I can still shoot him over the island. That's nice. Constellation's still shooting me. I'm trying to conserve my health here. Looking at the map, looking at how the game is gone. We took a lot of the caps early. This kid, there's the blue destroyer in C is a kid. He's gone that way. I don't think that's a bad choice at this point. He's not going to sink this Rodney. He's not going to sink the Constellation. And the 2 red destroyers that are left are kind of up north, not really anywhere near him. He went and hunted down the Lexington. I don't know about that either. He got it. I did a lot of damage to it, and he finished it off. So it's kind of one of those. I don't generally prefer when destroyers go and hunt down the carrier as their like thing. Ignore everything else and go hunt down the carrier. But when it works, it's like, all right, well, at least the carrier's gone. So at least he got it done. Had a fire, single fire. I've got 3 damage cons. Thought about using it, but then I was like, oh, well, if I get a double fire immediately after I use it, that's going to be pointless. I would also like to drop the spotting penalty so I can turn around safely. But then I see it's almost done. It's just going to burn out. I would have loved to have had that be slightly different, not under fire, not spotted, and be able to use the damage con, drop. Even though it's a single fire, I'm low enough health, I would like to conserve that health at this point in the match. But we are turning back around because they have more ships. Points are basically tied at this point. We have 2 caps, but obviously this B is under threat. And yeah, we need to stay in this fight. We can't just leave. One of the things is their 2 destroyers are doing basically the same thing ours did, except they're both doing it, which is honestly even worse than 1 destroyer doing it. Is 2 destroyers doing it. You're taking 2 valuable ships out of the fight to go to the back of the map. Even if they sink that carrier, they're going to take a long time to come back, and the carrier sank one of them. The closer you get to a carrier, they're a lot of ships get more dangerous the closer you get, just because the guns are more accurate, it's easier to lead, they have more penetration, like etc, etc. There's some exceptions, maybe, like just based on, I guess, some like Japanese battleships can get wonky, and like also they're under more threat from you. But as you get closer to a carrier, they can like cycle their planes faster. They have less time to less time to get to you. If you get close enough, it can be kind of wonky for them to get the planes up in the air and turned around and be able to drop. But if you're at that kind of like destroyer spotting distance, like they can get the planes in the air and drop like pretty quickly. And then here, gosh, the Shimanto just keeps going like in and out of spot. This is frustrating. Like, the match is close enough. I need to take the shot. I would love to just wait to take the shot on the Shimanto, but then the Constellation was right there, so I'm like, oh, I need to do that one. And then actually, I remember in the match, I kind of like hit my controller and thought I aimed way too low. And then, honestly, I don't even understand how I got 5 overpins on that. I thought I would have gotten 5 in the water, but all 6 shells hit. I remember thinking like, oh man, I messed that up. I'm not going to hit any of those, and then somehow all 6 hit. So that's luck, because I definitely made, just hit the controller a little bit too hard and aimed low on that shot. But I'll take it for as many times as I feel like I aim correctly, and it's like everything goes in the water. Or I had in a gear game today where I was shooting at an Iowa at like 11 kilometers, and like 2 or 3 shells hit. It was broadside, like it was a perfect shot, and like nothing hit. I think I got 2 shatters and an overpin or something like that. I was just like, come on. Here, I am just trying to get... He's got so little health. I just like want superstructure, just get it over that island. I'm kind of waiting like just a little bit to make sure it gets there. Sink him. It looks like the Rodney has left, and then oh my gosh, the Kaga sinks the other destroyer. Like I don't even know what's happening. I've got a friend who likes these, in my opinion, ridiculous, but no offense, like he likes spicy builds, and I'm pretty sure it's the Kaga that has like 203. Are they all just 203s, or are they like a weird caliber? But they basically have like heavy cruiser guns on the side, and I don't know if that was helping him with those destroyers or not. But anyway, the Kaga got both destroyers that came to sink him, and that's like definitely turns this game. Well, kind of turns this game. We'll see. But here, like, the kid should have been gone like 20 minutes ago. What is he doing? Why is he in the cap? If he wants to reset this Rodney from long range, like the kid's got, whatever, 10 kilometers on the guns, like reset him, let him in the cap and just reset him from long range. You can farm up experience. Like, not that that's necessarily what you want to do, but like you can reset him for a long time. The Shimanto's there. He went up. He sinks the carrier. I'm just frustrated all over again watching this kid go down. And then, this is where I would love to reset the Rodney. We have a commanding point lead. We have a destroyer that could just like leave. We would win even if I go down. It's just like, but if you look at him, look at what he's doing. He's gone through B, like he's not looking at the score. He's not looking at the map. I can't die. He's got his nose pointed at the Shimanto, and he is not leaving. And I see it right there. I'm like, he's shooting. He's shooting at the Shimanto. Like, oh no, dude. Like, go dark. Even if you got spotted somehow, go dark. It looks like he's smoking up. And I just know. I know. You've seen it too many times. If you've played this many games, he's going to die. He is going to sit right there, and the Shimanto is just going to sail right up to him. It's a fast IJN cruiser. Like, he's done. So here, as I said earlier, the Rodney's one of its weaknesses is its speed. It's not fast. One is Zeiten speed, strengths is its fast. So I'm trying to keep that little island in between me and where he might be, and then just literally get as far away as possible. Because one hit and I'm done. So I'm just running away. I'm looking at the score, and I'm just hoping maybe the destroyer will live. And then I'm like, oh man, this math is super close. While we're counting down, this struck me. Like, look at the stats. Look at that. Boom. 87,000, 87,000. But the win rate, like, in my Bismarck video, I mentioned, like, look at how close all the stats are on these ships and how bad my Bismarck win rate is for, like, no apparent reason. I know everyone says it, like, oh, like, ships are cursed. It's, it's not. But, like, can we all just agree that Bismarck is cursed? Like, it's unreasonable. I finally, like, I'm just gonna be okay with it because there's obviously nothing I can do about it. That ship is just cursed. So maybe the curse will come apart. I'll break the curse eventually. But no, and then hey, we win by 2 points. Like, just nick of time. Oh man, that match. Just This is another one. Just stay alive. Like, oh my gosh. You know, that we had that game easily, and then two ships died that really didn't need to. And they had okay games, but it's just like, come on, guys. Stop throwing.